In Module 1.3, the vocabulary part, we talked about the fact that when you're adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers, the goal is to do the operation of subtraction because they have different signs, so you can't just add them. So when we do this, this says 12 plus negative 4. What does that mean? That means that you have $12 and you give away 4. So if I have $12 and I give 4 away, what am I left with? I'm left with $8. Now, how do you know if it's a positive $8 or a negative $8? Well, having $12 and giving away 4, you still have more than what you started with, than what you're giving away. So you have a positive $8. Now, if you want to put a little positive sign right there just to remind yourself that it's positive $8, then that's fine. But most of the time you're not going to see the positive sign right there. It's just understood that it's going to be a positive number if there's nothing in front of it. If it is a negative number, it will have a negative sign in front of it, or we'll talk about that later, a subtraction sign like an operation. Okay, let's go to our fractions now. Again, we're doing just a quick review. So our fractions are going to have like denominators. So we write our denominator down because you write the bottom. When I go to collect my top, I have negative 9 and a positive 1. So that means that you owe me $9. You give me 1, but you still owe me how many? $8. So it's going to be a negative 8 this time instead of the previous problem where it was a positive 8 because you had more than you needed. When you come to the last problem, again, you have a negative 3.7 plus a positive 8.4. So what we want to do is we want to put the higher value, which is 8.4, we want to put him on top. Okay, and then we're going to add to it a negative 3.7. And then in order to subtract decimals, what do you have to do? Sometimes we have to do that borrowing or regrouping. So we can't take 7 away from 4, so what do we have to do? Regroup. And rename this 8 as a 7 and rename this as a 14. That way you can do regular subtraction. So when I subtract here, I get 14, take away 7, which is 7. Drop your decimal point down into your answer again, like we've been doing. And then you have 7, take away 3, which gives me 4. Now, so that gives me 4.7. And then you have to look and see, is it going to be positive or negative? Well, which one is bigger? Whichever one went on top, this 8.4, that's like $8.40. So if you have $8.40 and then you give away $3.70, you still get change back. You still have some left over. So it's an understood positive 4.7. And again, if you want to put the little plus sign to remind you that it's positive, that's fine. But most of the time, you're not going to see it. Okay? We'll see you next time.